Stisowain here with Elemental Fitness. Today I'm coming to you, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about our mobility through our hips and our upper back, which also involves the front of our body. Upper back and back of the body, directly related as well to the front of the body, shoulders and chest. Hips, for movement, just in general movement through the day. Feeling efficient, feeling that it's not a struggle to lift your leg up to step, to be able to hit a full squat with no problem, to be able to come down to this position and just hang out here and rest here and not have issues with the hips or knees even bothering you. This is a natural position to hang out in. We watch toddlers walk around and sometimes take some steps, fall right back down into this position. If you don't have a chair, if you look at certain cultures who don't really have chairs around, or certain areas in certain countries, down into a squat position, this should be very comfortable. Not really so much on today's video, but you have to have the mobility through that ankle to be able to get down here as well. Otherwise, you're just falling over backwards, as well as the mobility through the hips, being able to clear down through those hips. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Again, most people are at a desk, or at a chair, or behind the wheel through the day, or standing in a certain posture that puts us in this anterior tilt of the hips. What that's going to do is shorten up those hip flexors. Oftentimes it puts the hamstrings then into a stretched, tight position. Does that mean they're going to get strong? No, not necessarily. And then we incorporate possibly ability to inactivate, unable to activate the glutes, so the hips get called in even more, get even tighter, because they're doing all the work. These guys aren't doing any work as well. Now, does that mean that these guys aren't tight? No. You can have short muscles, long muscles. They can be overactive, underactive. They can be weak or strong. All of those things. All right. So, working on those hips. If we're not able to basically pull that knee into the chest, if we're not able to even lift it up to there, we know we have something holding us back, or also a weakness. We're trying to lift up and that's it. You know, this might be tight, but this might be also weak. Might be short and weak. Again, that hip flexor can be tight. That forward tilt puts that stress on my back. So we need to release those. Let's go through that first. So those hip flexors, we're looking at the psoas right in the front. We're looking at the TFL. A little bit on the side, you have the basically top part of your leg, the greater trochanter right there, and we're looking just inside that. And if you feel around, dig around, you'll feel the muscle. You'll feel the bands, and you might even, just by that pressure of the hands and fingers, you might even hit some tender spots, which those are the areas you definitely want to work out. Working on rolling these areas, again, before you go to stretch them. Look at releasing the adhesions, looking at pressing out those tender areas, increasing blood flow. Okay, basically, you know, that's if we boiled it really down to it, increasing blood flow and getting the fascia, the muscle covering, to basically run with the muscle, to feather out the muscle. And again, get more blood flow in there. If it's tight, if it's dense, nothing gets in. No nutrients gets in, no healing. And that's where we basically end up with the injuries and even more tightness. Weakness as well. Certain lengths that our muscles respond best to and produce the most force in. So I'm going right to that TFL first. All right, now the IT band is there. You know, you can foam roll that IT band, which a lot of people do, and it's recommended to do if you have tightness to that, but it's the TFL and the glutes that connect to that IT band. The IT band, the iliotibial band, is not very flexible. It's not going to really stretch out that much. But you can run down over it again, try to look at increasing blood flow through there. Covering this. The other side, same thing. Now, as far as rolling in and getting the psoas, that's a much deeper muscle group. All right, I'm not going to do a video right now on how to get in there. That's almost a more manual approach. You could almost pyramid up a couple tennis balls, 3 on the bottom, and then basically 1 on top of that, and dig in there pretty good. But you know, it's kind of a dangerous little area. But again, that muscle's a lot deeper, so you know, you want to be careful around there. But as far as a stretch, you know, that's our hip flexor stretch, our psoas stretch here. And again, look at keeping that flat back, so tuck the hips up. Now from there, right away, I'm in a stretch. I don't have to shift forward very much. What I like to do also is to get the foot elevated. So I might use a bench or even the wall. But I'll use the wall for this video. Where I'm looking at that same position, getting back and shifting into it. Back, shift into it. If it's really tight, if you're not going to be real active right after, you know, hit a static stretch. If it's before a workout and you're going tight, you're going to be a little more active in that stretch. So we have the TFL, we have the psoas. Let's look at basically getting to the backside now. Let's look at the glutes, piriformis, the muscles that extend the hips, but also externally rotate the hips. All right, so we're going to get in these. I have a piece of PVC pipe. This actually works pretty well for this area. It's a lot harder than, you know, a foam roller, than even a tennis ball, but I'm able to get that really digging in. All right, and you can see I'm over on the side of the hip a little bit more. Feel around. Look that you're not on bone. If you're on bone, you're in the wrong spots. We want to get to that soft tissue. Tennis ball will dig in there a bit more. Even if I want to get under those glutes a little bit more, for that piriformis, we're going to use a ball which has less of this contact area, really, a higher point. And finding those tender areas. If you see my face, you see I kind of got on one right around there. I'm going to work that area because I might be all around the outside of it. Think of it like a bullseye. Around the outside of it, you're still going to feel, but move around. See where that eye of the storm is. Both sides, foam roll, ball, however you want to get in those, including even just the pressure of the hand, thumb, digging in to those positions. Okay? TFL, psoas, IT, glutes, piriformis. Now let's look at a little bit of the stretching of those areas. So you can even put yourself into this position. That's going to put the glutes in a little bit of a stretch, the hips in a stretch. I like even just a lying knee hug, coming straight up, pulling it in, holding it in. All right, come across the body, and as well, the foot angle across the body. And you're going to get what would look like if I was face down on the floor, a pigeon pose, right? In yoga, same thing. There you're using your body weight to press down. Here I'm using leverage and just muscular strength to pull that stretch in. All right, again, it's not right here. Come across the body. All right, feel that on the outside of the hip. Both sides there. Another way to get that, and I do like this way, is to cross over tight. You can get this, and then pull in. So very similar. You can get it in this position. All right. But it's very similar to our pigeon pose. Right here. Keep those hips squared up when you do this. If I'm comfortable, if you're good with your knees, no pain with that, I prefer to use this. Body weight's much easier. Breathing. Let's talk about breathing. From your belly, from your diaphragm, when you inhale, make your belly fill up. And then your chest will fill up too. Your lungs will expand. And then when you exhale, from your belly again. You're going to get the most bracing from that, but you're also going to be able to allow your body to relax into a stretch and then release through that exhale in every stretch. Feel for movement with that exhale. Feel for more movement into the stretch. with that exhale. All right, let's look at going to the upper back as well. Again, like we said, we're rounded over, we're rounded forward. Some of my other videos, I talk a lot about rolling, getting in through the shoulder and pec major, pec minor to release that rounding forward tension, right? We want to release that. I would recommend that you do that almost first before even going to the back, before going to roll back. But on that T-spine, and again, I have another video where I go through this, but covering it again. All right, we're looking at staying from mid-back and up. Let your body bend over that roller, like a rocker over that roller. That breathing, bring it back to the breathing, and try to keep your rib cage down. Right now, my rib cage is flared way out, sticking up. Try to pull that down. It's the same when you're standing around. Standing around, a lot of us lift that chest up like that, but we're actually doing it from our lower back. We're lifting that rib cage up. We want to pull that down and in. I can still lift my chest without keeping that arch in my back. Lift your chest through your upper back, through your upper body, not your lower back. Okay? Back to that rolling. Over top. Give it time. One position. You can get a little more of a stretch to the chest and shoulders. Arms out and wide. It's up to you. Head back or chin tucked. And again, give it time. When you're done, pull those arms down. Don't try to lift them just right back up. You can support the head and almost let the head support the hands in a sense. There, you're still going to get the chest through those arms. And play around again with position there. I like to tuck them in and then put my body in different angle. True rocker type position and roll on the wall. And I do like to get up a little higher as well, up onto the trapezius muscles and muscles that come down from the neck basically. We have that tension up there as well, which contributes a lot to our forward protruding heads, neck pain, headaches, all of those things, as well as just changing our body posture and center of mass because our head's forward. We have to stand differently. All right? So we went over rolling, stretching, rolling the chest, stretching the chest. So we can hit our clock stretch. One of my favorites, probably see it a lot in my videos. Run right around, a nice stretch forward, nice stretch up and back. Let your upper body move. And then find your high point. And you're going to hang out here anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. You can cut it a little shorter than that if it's bothering you, but come around and go back to it. Go back to it again. All right? Eventually, if your hand's off that floor, if your wrist is off that floor like mine is right now today, spend some time in that. You should have both arms down, chest up, back flat. Eventually, a couple deep exhales, you might even be able to get down there, but spend some time in that. We can also hit an active stretch for that, an open book. Squeeze open. Squeeze open. Now, with this, I can get 2 birds with 1 stone. I can shift into my hip flexor stretch as I hit my upper body, open book, chest stretch, activation, that squeeze through the upper back. Very similar to the band pull apart in another video. So we hit the stretching, we hit the rolling through that T-spine, that thoracic spine, that upper back, glutes, hips, we kind of unstuck those guys, work on that range of motion, work on getting back down into that deep squat. You can put a bootstrapper in there or a toe touch squat when we're coming down. Come down into our squat, chest up nice and high. Wherever it may be for you, it might be there. And then back up, bootstrapper. Elbows in, tilt, and down into your squat. Find your width that you're comfortable with. Down into your squat. down into your squat. And if you can't get into a deep squat, make this a priority. Make this a priority to be able to get into that within maybe 30 days, unless there's some underlying issues with the knees and hips that you need to go see a professional. You can make it happen. You can make that happen, definitely within 30 days. Within 20 days, you can definitely make that happen, but work on those stretches. If you know an area is tight, put the time in. Let's look at activating and stretching those hips again. Single leg bridge. From here, I'm going to pull one knee in, I'm going to bend the other up, and we're keeping that knee in to help us keep our hips tucked up and focus on those glutes and not let the back arch. So from here, I'm pressing up as high as I can and even almost backwards onto my shoulders. Up, pause, squeeze, back down. You run through about 15 per leg. Again, you might hit 2 sets of that. Build that up. Build that strength up. Eventually, you're going to go of that leg and keep it up, or even out for some extra weight. But there you got to make sure to keep that hip tucked. The holding the knee is a little bit safer in the beginning. And for the upper back, we're going to go to a Cobra Y and W. So from here, you might need to start with hands back and squeeze up through that. But make sure we're opening that chest, those shoulders. All right, for our Y, we're going to come up to a Y. Back down, up, W. Back down, up, Y. All right, build that up to the point where you're holding it statically. And again, focus through the upper back. Focus through the upper back. Squeeze the glutes,